is that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi, when you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
Sports on CBC, presented by Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Veriburn Medical Supply, Les Bagues Baron Rings, BioSteel, Hilton Quebec, Michelob Ultra, Wilson, APAR, and by Sun Life.
It is moving day. It is day 3. Welcome into the 2026 U Sports Women's Final 8 from St. Paul, Quebec. Laval University, the host site here. Coach Dana Ross, Mo Khan on Saturday afternoon. Coach, good afternoon to you. We have the 5th place game now. It is the all OUA matchup that played last week in the final in Ontario, but now here they are in Quebec playing this game. We spoke about it yesterday, the bragging rights of being the 5th place finisher or the Ontario champion, but here we are, rematch. What do we expect from these two teams today?
A tough battle. I mean, it's at this point it's a rivalry game at this point, right? And Carleton lost to TMU in the final 75-60, so we expect a good battle against really two great defensive teams.
So familiarity breeds this whole game here. Do you expect any surprises from these teams early on in this matchup?
Honestly, what I see the difference between the finals and this consolation final is TMU is coming into this game without Kate Nichols, which gave them so much into that final game.
Right.
And it's a veteran play that can make, can defend, and rebounds really well. So I'm excited to see how TMU responds to that.
So last game between these two teams here is the bragging rights, pretty much, right, to have going to the next season. How big is it to be that 5th place team? We spoke about it yesterday, but to get that 5th place finish, you're a top 5 team in Canada.
I mean, you always want to end your season with a win. Right. If you go just based off on that, as competitors, you want to get into it.
Let's take a look at the key players today here as we look forward to this matchup. Starting off with Carleton and TMU. We talked about it before, Coach, and what it is for both teams here. For Carleton, we look at the number 22 in Jacqueline Urban, who's been wonderful this year for Carleton and what she's done all season long. She had a slow start day 1, but she picked it up day 2, and now here we are day 3.
I mean, she's going to be extremely important to Carleton. In the finals, she had 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 of them were 5 offensive rebounds, which allowed them to stay in that game. And so I expect a lot from Jackie Urban today. I think that her veteran play is something that Carleton leans on.
Right. Let's take a look now at the player introductions coming up here. Start off with Carleton and then TMU.
D'abord du côté des Ravens, Carleton. And now, please welcome the starting lineups for both teams. Starting with the Carleton Ravens. Le numéro 6, number 60, Matosis Adderley. Le numéro 11, number 11, Kiana Jade Poulain. Le numéro 12, number 12, Abney Dang. Le numéro 13, number 13, Olivia Richardson. Et le numéro 22, and number 22, Jacqueline Urban. L'entraîneur-chef, Danny Sinclair. Et maintenant, voici l'alignement partant du Bold. And now, the starting lineup for TMU. Le numéro 3, number 3, Haley Franco the right. Le numéro 4, Myriam Kone. Le numéro 9, Ella McDonald. Le numéro 17, number 17, Katrina Garvey. Et le numéro 25, and number 25, Jessica Caripe. L'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Carly Clark.
All right, there you go. Player intros complete. Final game of the 25-26 campaign for TMU in Carleton. Coach Dana Ross of U of T, MoCon on this Saturday afternoon. Moving day, we'll have our finalists determined by 7 p.m. East tonight for the bronze and gold medal games tomorrow. This is the 5th place game. And we have TMU in their home whites with blue and gold numeral trim, and Carleton in their away blacks with red and white numeral trim. Bragging rights indeed, and this will be the first time in 7 years there will not be an Ontario team in the U Sports Finals in women's basketball. Quite a long time, Coach.
Yes. Wow, it's starting off with a turnover right away, but the OUA has shown a lot of a strong presence at nationals in the past few years, as you can see, but, you know, still playing for the 5th place, top 5 in the country. We talked about it earlier. Such an important feat.
And here's Kone. Here is DeFranco Reich. Franco Reich had a wonderful game, as did Kone yesterday. She picked it up in the second half in the win, and she got caught in 2 minds, and here comes Matosis Adderley. Poulain on the go, and Franco de Reich taking off the route on that. Here is the 3 from Poulain, and that is off the iron, and that will roll out of play, and a TMU possession going the other way.
I mean, a great shot from Kiana Poulain right there. The ball goes inside. She relocates, gets a wide open shot. That's part of her toolbox, so why not?
Toolbox. She is a 5'2" player out there. That's the baseball expression, which means a sign of endearment of the skill set that she has. And here is Franco de Reich. Back over it is McDonald, who hit a big 3 against Laval late in the game, and that slips right by Franco de Reich. Remains TMU ball with 11 left on the shot clock.
Great attack by Ella McDonald right there. Just a fumble pass from Kiana Jade Poulain.
Kone the inbounder. The turn. Garvey triple teamed, finding Franco de Reich, and they take a deep breath with 10 left on the shot clock. Garvey again. Kone, near side flats. 2 left on the shot clock for McDonald. And off the iron and recovered again by Caripe, and they get a new 14 to work with. A hockey power play again for TMU. Backdoor, Franco de Reich. Hard work pays off for TMU.
Honestly, here you can see that's 3 offensive rebounds already for TMU. Last game in the finals, there was a total of only 13 offensive rebounds for a very aggressive rebounding team like TMU. So they're starting really well off on that glass.
And that's the one thing to look at. You talk about rebounding, and these are teams that you look at. Carleton, as you said, this week, number 2 in Canada rebounding, and TMU number 16 at 40 rebounds a game. And we saw yesterday Carleton wearing down McGill in that 4th quarter in that come-from-behind victory at the death, literally, buzzer beater that they had on the Martlets. Sorry, Coach, I know that's your alma mater. But that was quite the best finish we've had at the tournament, as you see from replay here on the miscue by Carleton.
Right, she thought she saw a pass right there, but unfortunately, no recipient there.
Franco de Reich with it. Watched closely by Dang. Again, these teams met less than a week ago, and McDonald missing the 3. As you said before, it was a comprehensive win for TMU over Carleton last Saturday in Toronto's barn, not in Carleton's barn. And so far, only 2 points for in the first 2 minutes. And could it be, playing their 3rd game in 3 days, the emotional highs and lows, that it could be a slow burn for both teams coming out of the blocks?
I believe so. I mean, it's also an earlier game, not much time to recover between the games as well. It's a 3 back-to-back games.
And Urban right on cue with a big 3, and they're up by a score of 1 with 7:44 left in this first quarter play. Garvey, the pirouette, bamboozling Matosis Adderley on the finish.
That's such a great footwork play from Garvey right there. They are running Garvey off that 3-point line. Do not want Garvey to shoot that ball. They want her to put it on the ground, getting to the rim.
Another rebound right back to TMU, and Franco Durek was impeded by Dang, and this will be the first foul on either side in this game as we're about 3 minutes through. And you see from the replay there, Garvey on the finish for TMU.
That's just a vet move on a first year. Very talented Matosis Adderley.
Plenty of space now from the free throw line. Rejected in time by Matosis Adderley, right on cue again with the name drop. And here comes Urban the other way.
Seems like she just got her revenge right there.
We'll see if she can come up with the finishing here from the center arc. Off the heel, another rebound, off the face, last touch by who? And this remains Carleton ball with 7 minutes left in this first quarter play. 4-3 lead for TMU.
Right, Mo, in this final game between Carleton and TMU last weekend, Carleton had 23 offensive rebounds.
And that is quite the number to have against an opponent, regardless of who it is. It could be House League, and right there, Coney saying, not in my house, and back come the Bold. Transition, will drive by back to Coney. Coney's got space from the elbow. Another chance out of bounds, and this will be TMU ball. 14 left in the shot clock for the Bolds.
Coney had a ton of success in that mid-range yesterday against, who was it again? There's so many games in a row.
And now UBC.
UBC, sorry. So she got into that paint. She was able to create that shot. That's exactly what she wants to do.
And a little forearm action right there from Matosis Adderley and McDonald. And with that, the first team foul on TMU. The Bold, the now current OUA champions, they'll defend that crown next fall. And most certainly they'll be one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win OUA next season. Urban from the free throw line against Caripe, looking for the outlet. Corner pocket, Oliver overcooked that one. And tripped up is Franco Durek, and Urban will get her first foul, and she ran into issues day 1 against UNB, getting 3 quick fouls in the first 6 minutes of play.
I think Urban, in this case here, I like what Carleton is doing in this case. You know, the ball gets into Urban's hand. She got a few shots early. Obviously, this a foul early on today, but still she's being aggressive, and they're playing through Urban in this game, and I think that's one of the good recipe for Carleton to be successful today.
Franco Durek back with it. Here is Kone. The job to Poulin to contain, if not stop, Kone, and that was stopped by the block on the shot from Franco Durek, and that came courtesy of the length of Francis. And this is a Carleton team that hits about 4 blocks per game, and that ball is sent towards Bank Street.
You see the leadership there from Kiana Jade-Poulin, telling Oliver to keep the ball moving and to try to attack that middle there so that they can get that offense running.
Right now, that offense is humming, somewhat speaking here, for both teams, and a 4-3 lead. Kone again, the inbounder. You've seen the monopoly of touches from the big 3. Franco Durek, Garvey, and Kone. And here is Franco Durek. And here is McDonald from center arc. And that's a missed shot and a rebound up in the air. Kone can't get to it. Now she does. And Poulin on her once more. 8 left in the shot clock for TMU. Switch of play, well read. Oliver on her bike, 2-on-1, making it a 3-on-1. McDonald taking off that opportunity for her. And here's the opening. And then sitter miss and another miss. And unfortunately for Hannah Beatty, her blushes will not be spared on the 2 misses.
Great pass from Catherine Oliver right there, finding her teammate wide open underneath that rim. Just couldn't convert, unfortunately.
And now quickly from Oliver. Catch and shoot for Poulin. And a rebound right back over. Franco Durek in a fight with it, still going with it. And now the arrow is pointing towards TMU.
relentless on the board from Kiana Jade-Poulin right there, chasing that offensive rebound. Obviously didn't get it, but still stopped the play, and now they can defend on that full court without having a transition.
And back with it here with 5:15 left in this first quarter play. Still a 4-3 lead, so for those who have the under in this game, you're looking pretty good right now with only 7 points for in this matchup. Kone, Oliver on her right hip, so they'll switch in defending. Kone, this is her spot, and you see why it's her spot as they go up by a score 6-3.
That's an extremely tough shot over a forward that is that tall, Francis.
Right now, Carleton only 1 of 7 from the field. TMU 3 of 10. Tough play, well defended. Foul called on Franco Durek, who's pleading her case as Francis will go to the line shooting 52% from the free throw stripe. And with that, subs coming in here as it will be Oliver going off, and it appears it will be Matosis Adderley back in, McDonald off, and in the game for the first time today will be Alex Pino, who you say has that analytics three-point shot to a tee from the corner pocket.
That's just an eye test, Mo. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking.
That might be your advanced scouting that you've done for TMU now years past. And now the second free throw. And that's right back over to Francis again. And a new possession taken away by Garvey. Garvey awaits the reinforcements. Kone in a triple team, and that is slipped through from Beatty's hands. And back to Adderley Matosis. Matosis Adderley back over in the plus territory. Watched by Franco Durek. Big versus small. St. Pierre, watched by Garvey. Going to the left. And right back to St. Pierre, a new 14 to work with. St. Pierre from 14. 0 for 2 from the field. Rebound by Franco Durek. Garvey.
This is what Franco Durek can do. She grabs it and she can just push transition and try to create something for TMU in that early offense.
Kone, plenty of offense. I.O., that's instant offense by her, and that's a 9-4 lead for TMU. And for Kone now, coach, she's on 5 points. 1 of 1 from 3, 2 of 4 from the field. Matosis Adderley nearly lost that.
I'm loving the defense on both sides right now. A lot of deflections, a lot of hands, very physical.
Poulin, 1 pass too many. Franco Durek, Garvey is on her bike, 2-on-1, looking jumper, serene. 3:16 left in this first quarter play, 11-4 lead for TMU.
Again, the impact that Franco Durek has on this TMU defense. She's able to deflect, push transition, create a shot for Garvey there.
Foul called. Poulin will go to line using her adrenaline fuel as the double sub will come in for the Ravens, and it will be Dang coming back in along with Urban. KJ Poulin at the line today, and so far for the afternoon, trying to find her rhythm in this game as she's 0 for 3 from the field, gets her first point of the day, an 11-5 lead that ends the 7-0 run for TMU. And a 2-for-2 effort for her, and a timeout called on the court. Timeout on the court. You're watching the 2026 Sunlight U Sports Women's Basketball Final 8, presented by Michelob, Hilton, Quebec on CBC. TMU up 11-6 over Carleton. U Sports Month continues on. The best U Sports men's volleyball teams battle the 2026 BioSteel Men's Volleyball Championship, March 13th to 15th from the University of Windsor. Catch the action on the CBC platforms. That's GEM, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. U Sports on CBC is where champions are made. And right now, Coach, looking at it, 11-6 lead for TMU over Carleton. What has changed now for Carleton? Because it feels like they're a step behind TMU in pace and transition.
Yeah, it's about converting. Right now, TMU is shooting 5 for 12 from the field, right? And then if you look at it, Carleton is only shooting 11%, 1 for 9. So that's where the game is played right now. They are getting opportunities. They're just not converting. And that could be TMU's defense right there.
Carleton trying to get themselves back on even footing. Here's Coney with it. Watched by Poulin, giving her the left. And that is saved in the nick of time by Adiosa. And this will go out of play. It remains TMU ball with 11 left on the shot clock.
You expect that from Carleton coming out of a timeout, being aggressive, being physical, having hands, making sure that they can get some deflection.
Garvey again against Oliver on the byline. Lovely pass. Adiosa now with the tough shot, and Urban on the cleanup. And that might be the calling card for Carleton team that only gives up 57 points a game. However, TMU only giving up 56 points a game this season.
This is their third time facing each other this season, so might be a tight. They know each other very well.
Oliver from the flats. Splash.
I mean, that's what she does.
5-0 run for Carleton. And she's done that all tournament long here. We've witnessed it against McGill, and we saw it for a bit against UNB. But yesterday, she killed McGill with a three-point shot, making that she had. And here's someone who can hit threes in herself and Garvey. Backing up, looking, waiting, tough play. And Franco Durek thought she was fouled. We play on, going the other way.
Some good help side from Urban on the back end there, seeing that her teammate was in trouble.
Matosis, Adderley. Back over comes to Poulet. And that was a step too many, and we are going the other way. And remember, Katrina Garvey is from Ottawa, so there's a bit of edge to her game playing the, would you say Carleton's the hometown school, or is it Ottawa University the hometown school for the nation's capital?
Ooh, I don't want to.
You can offend whoever you want to offend. I have no race in this, I have no horse in this race because I don't coach in the OUA like you do.
Yeah, I do not want any smoke on that.
So you're saying it's Ottawa U?
Nope, not saying anything.
So it's Carleton then?
Not saying anything. Don't get me in trouble, Mo.
Blink twice and I'll know the answer. And with that, 1:16 left, your 2-point lead for TMU over Carleton. Diana Ross, Mo Khan on this Saturday afternoon. We're down to the final stages of this event, and it's Coney on the inbound. Franco Reich. And this will go out of play, remains TMU ball. Franco Reich has had a good start to this game here, as has Coney, but I've noticed the pattern of behavior for Coney is that slow out of the blocks, but then really picks it up third and fourth quarter. Is that a concern that she's had a slow start and Carleton might have to brace themselves for that deluge of points that she could bring in the second half?
Perhaps, but I still think she's on a good pace right now. She has 5 points. We're still in the first quarter. I mean, she's on track for 20, if anything. That's her average, right?
21, so it's off the average.
Fair.
Franco Durek. That's not her average success right there. And that goes out of play with 1:07 left and a 5-0 run for Carleton. It's been a game of runs in this matchup. 7-0 run for TMU now. 5-0 run without reply from Carleton. Urban. Dang, that's her spot, her postal code, her heat map for points.
It's a beautiful high-low play from Jackie Urban to Dang right there. Very simple basketball, very efficient.
McDonald. Franco Durek. Well read by Dang. The telescopic arms coming up big. Oliver on the plus territory. 38 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Oliver over Kone. Rebound Dang. Basket will not count. And it will be benefiting Carleton on the foul by TMU. And this will be a non-shoot, I believe, Coach.
I believe this is her second foul once again. Yesterday she was in foul trouble early in the game as well. She had to get pulled out. But again, tough foul in this first quarter.
Franco Durek has booked through Expedia her seat on the bench for the next while of this vacation that she does not want to have. And Poulin can't find that. Rebound right back to Oliver. Urban. They have 23 seconds left. Plenty of time on the shot clock to work with. Post play Dang again, part 2. And it's smooth. That's 4 points for her in the paint the last minute or so. They're up by 2.
That's just a good recognition from Matosis Adderley, seeing that her teammate Dang was guarded by Kone in the paint.
Will roll out of play. Kone ball. 5.3 left. Shot clock is off. And TMU will have the last action of this first quarter play. Here's Kone. 2 left on the clock. And that lacked the quality from Kone. And at the end of 1, it is Carleton 13, TMU 11. You're watching the 2026 Sun Life U Sports Women's Basketball Final 8, presented by Michelob in Hilton, Quebec, on CBC from St. Quebec. Stay tuned.
Delaney, territoire du Nord-Ouest, le berceau du hockey. On y trouve une communauté riche en histoire et en tradition que Quaker voulait surprendre avec une toute nouvelle cantine déjeuner Quaker dans son aréna. En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Guess what, Diana? We're down to the final 4 teams on the championship bracket after Carleton, Toronto Metropolitan, Bishops, and Victoria punched their tickets to the final 4 after the quarterfinal matches that they had in Calgary. Catch the men's basketball semifinals tonight, beginning at 9 p.m. East, 7 p.m. Mountain Time for the games. We got Carleton, Toronto Metropolitan at 7 p.m. East, and then in Bishops, Victoria at 9 p.m. East. That is all today on the University of Calgary side of the bracket for the men's draw. And right here we have Carleton and TMU going at it in the All-Ontario battle for 5th place. And this is right back to Dang, and this will be TMU ball.
So they are playing for the Consolation final, and the men's are playing for that semifinal tonight. This is exciting for Carleton and TMU.
So if the trade-off was that one of these teams lost, but the other team in the men's draw wins, is that a proper trade-off for the schools?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to win both, but if you choose to win at least one, absolutely.
Kone looking to win this game here for TMU, and she's on 7 points now with a 15-13 lead. Those will be 2 great semifinal battles tonight at the University of Calgary. We have 2 great sumptuous battles today, UNB Calgary, and then we'll have the nightcap, Saskatchewan Laval. And that is last touched by Carleton, and it goes back to TMU. So, Coach, looking at it now for this second quarter, the key for either side, starting off with Carleton, what do they have to do better in the second quarter?
I think stopping, trying to find a way to kind of mitigate Kone's ability to score right now. And on the flip side, continuing to be aggressive on that offensive rebounding. And I know they don't have the numbers just yet, but they are creating a lot of opportunities, just being so aggressive on the ball defensively, but also on that glass.
And for TMU, here's Kone's jumper. What's the key for them in this quarter of play?
To try to continue playing into that transition and getting into, their own style of play, right?
Right. And that's a giveaway. That's their style of play. And here they come the other way. It is Garvey. Trailing through, McDonald wide open from the center arc. Off the iron, and a rebound to Matosis Adderley.
That's what it is when you're playing against a younger team. Carleton has 8 first-year players.
2-on-1 for Kone with the Euro. And she overcooked that one. And this is a TMU team that gets about 13 steals per game, which is number 4 in Canada. And Poulin is fouled by McDonald and will go to the line for 2 free throws coming up. And already, Carleton has 8 turnovers in this game compared to 4 for TMU.
Yeah, we've got to take care of the ball if you are Carleton.
And Carleton, by comparison, they hit about 19 turnovers per game. They've had issues this year. They've had 12 games of 20 or more turnovers this season. That's not a good number to have if you're a coach of a basketball team.
You're right here. I mean, you want to take care of the ball. You want to make sure that you limit teams to get into transition, because again, when there's an advantage number, you really put yourself in a tough situation to defend and to limit baskets.
And on the flip side, look at TMU. They do a good job playing clean basketball, only 16 a game, which is number 7 in Canada. Pushed away, and that is Carleton ball. 14 left in the shot clock, 8:04 left in this first half. Diana Ross-Mocon on this Saturday afternoon. Don't forget, halftime will have halftime features on Miriam Kone and Kathleen Oliver for those to enjoy at halftime. Here is Oliver, and that is going to Kone, so the 2 halftime features impact that play, and here comes the feature herself in Kone, and that does not go through for her, and that will roll back towards TMU into the hands of McDonald. Garvey's 3. Urban on the cleanup.
Love to see Dennis back onto the floor. She had a good show yesterday, and then again she got an early in with Franco de Rijk having 2 fouls.
And down on the ground, I believe it was Poulin, and slow to get up and back on her 2s. And that's the one thing you brought up here, Coach, is that at this point in the game, I know you're not playing for a medal, but the flexibility of using your younger players to see how they cope in this environment at the nationals level, but also playing a future opponent next season.
You're right. Having a chance to play on this stage as a first year, as a second year is experience that is invaluable, right? You'll be able to come into next season with a bit more confidence, knowing that you've played on this stage before.
Bullerbrook now in the game for the first time from Beamsville, Ontario. First-year player, so she'll get a couple of runs here. Lovely pass, repelled away by Dang. Defended well by Carleton. This is a CU team that hits about 4 blocks per game.
You know, talking about 4 blocks per game, Carleton already has 4 blocks in this first half.
It's a block fest for them. St. Pierre against Garvey, the lefty. And the rebound right back to Kone, south of 7. 1-point lead for Carleton. Transition for Garvey, nearly tripped up on her own feet. Push back, Kone. Trying to create the angle with St. Pierre. Directing traffic with the overload to her right. Kone authoring, double team. And that will roll through with 5 left in the shot clock for TMU. And that's a travel instead. So it was a disjointed possession, and Karipe was called for the marché.
Yeah, Kone put herself in a very tough situation on that, in that corner, or like that.
Coffin corner.
Yeah, couldn't make a pass on that weak side. Tough angle.
And with it is Mary Lou St. Pierre, first year from Champlain St. Lambert, from Sorel Tracy in the South Shore of Montreal, a little east of Montreal, I imagine.
Yeah, very small French town in there.
That has produced plenty of basketball players. Marika Guerin, who you played with at McGill from Sorel Tracy.
Yes, a great basketball player.
Kone, and 1. And that is a great baller on the court right there. Composed, crafted, and created by Miriam Kone, going to the line for the potential 3-point sequence.
Now we talked about it here. Kone knowing where her spot is, really confident with it as she built on it since yesterday. And so, again, she's celebrating with her teammate, hoping to make this free throw here.
And we'll see with her genius skill set that she has. And she confirms that. And with a 2-point lead in the hand of TMU, Carleton now chasing this game with 6:04 left in this first half of play. Poulin Going to her left. Here is Urban. St. Pierre from the 45 against Garvey. Still dribbling. Post play. Dang. She's a wonderful player. A peach of a finish by her. And we're back to 16 apiece.
Dang is having a field trip right now with 6 points. I mean, you can always count on a Carleton player to duck in whenever the guard is in trouble.
And she's missed perfect right now. 3 of 3 from the field. Garvey can't find the angle. Dang with another rebound. That is rebound number 2 for her.
Not a block there, but definitely altered a shot in that paint.
And altering that passing opportunity was Kone. It remains Carleton ball, 5:18 left in this first half. Up next, semifinal number 1, UNB Calgary, and then Saskatchewan Laval. And I would imagine there'll be a lot of eyes being paid to watch that game with those 4 teams going at it for the chance to play for the bronze baby tomorrow night.
This is what you work all season for, Mo.
And right there, the finish is not there for Matosis Adderley. Remains Carleton ball with 5:07 left in this first half play. And Matosis Adderley will look for the options to work with. A very young composition of teams out there for both rosters. Poulain is a veteran against Kone, the veteran. And the veteran from Ottawa wins that battle over TMU. So
she might be happy to get that, see that ball falling through that net.
South of 5, 2-point lead for Carleton. We've had a plethora of lead changes, and this will be a foul on Dang, as Dennis had to step on her and impeded her with the right shoulder.
That's her second foul.
And it appears Franco Direct's going to come back in. Who's playing on 2 fouls herself. Timeout on the court. 4:49 left in this first half of play. It is an 18-16 lead for Carleton over TMU. You're watching the 2026 Sun Life U Sports Women's Basketball Final 8, presented by Michelob in Hilton, Quebec on CBC Sports.
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Well, catch the best of U Sports women's hockey teams as they face up at the 2026 Miller Waste Systems U Sports Women's Hockey Championships in Woolwich, Ontario. Action begins on Thursday, March 19th on the CBC platforms of GEM, cbcsports.ca, and the YouTube page of CBC Sports. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made. Right now, Coach, an 18-16 lead for Carleton over TMU with 4:49 left in this first half of play. And it's been all Miriam Kone for TMU. Who's got to step up beyond Kone to be more of a force?
I mean, having Franco de Rijk back could help Garvey get some shots up a bit more here. They have been guarding her really well. So kudos to Carleton for creating a bit more of showing a lot of resistance and not allowing Garvey any space to find an open shot there.
Well, that resistance results in a shot clock violation in favor of Carleton. Now here are the Ravens looking to extend their lead. They went back and forth with them and McGill yesterday. TMU had a fight and a half with UBC, and here they are going at it today in Quebec. And back with his Matosis Adderley. Driving through the lane. Open 3 from the flats. Splash.
She picked it up where she left off yesterday, Mo.
And right now, the three-point ball has been key for Carleton in this matchup. They make about 5.5 threes per game. And so far today, and what they've done up till now of the effort of three-point shooting, they have made 3 of 7.
Compared to TMU that are only 1 for 7 so far.
That's not a good number.
Nope,
And
indeed.
And Franco DeReich is fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws coming up. So the outlook of these teams now, Coach, from a coaching perspective, when you look at TMU, you look at Carleton, and for next year, I would imagine from the OUA perspective, both these teams will be very tough outs for anyone that they encounter in the schedule next season.
Absolutely, Mo. I mean, TMU, again, are returning everyone probably from that roster. Same idea for Carleton, right? And so having this experience at National at such a young, with such a young roster makes a whole lot of difference coming into the season next year.
So I take it you'll be burning the midnight candle then, trying to game plan for these teams next year.
Always trying my best.
There's no 9 to 5 with you. It's 9 to 9 or 9 to midnight for that matter.
I don't think there's a 9 to 5 for any coach, Mo.
I can find a couple coaches for you. I can tell you off the record. Here is Matosis Adderley on the record for that field goal, and now they're up by 5.
Adderley, Matosis Adderley just scored the last 5 points for Carleton, making them, up 5 right now, 23 to 18.
And she's got 5 points so far, and here is Franco DeReich. And this will be a foul called on Carleton. And we look at the numbers now for both teams. Carleton 34% from the field. Toronto Metropolitan 27% from the field. And we'll see what can change for them here going forward. And don't forget, during the interval, we'll have the halftime features on Miriam Kone and Catherine Oliver. Stay tuned for that at halftime. And Franco DeReich, when it comes to free throw shooting, that might be one of her objectives during the offseason to improve on that number. She's only 40% from the line this year. And 0 of 2. Kone on the rebound. Perhaps they can recoup the lost points from the missed free throws. Kone, watched by Urban. These are 2 dreadnoughts going at it. Franco DeReich trying to redeem herself. She is 0 of 2 from those moments right there. Open 3, St. Pierre. Rebound Kone.
This is where Carleton is dangerous when they're able to find open shooters. Although she didn't make it, that's a really good shot for Carleton.
And that was the shot of elegance from McDonald. She can hit the three-point shot. And this goes back to Carleton with 2:37 left. And it appears this game has gone to more of a slow grind than before. We had a bit of a more flow. Timeout called on the court. So look at it now, Coach, from these 2 teams. For TMU first, you're down by 5, and again, you look at those numbers as we speak. Kone scored 10 of the 18 points. Franco DeReich has 4 of those points, and Garvey has 4, and that's it. All 18 points come from 3 players, whereas you see more of a bounce attack from Carleton. I mean, you're playing the young players here, but they have to step up and showcase that whether it's now or for the future, we can be called upon to make a play or 2 down the road.
I mean, yes, Katrina Garvey has been a huge contributor to TMU's offense this year, and so far Carleton have been doing a really good job making it tough for her to find open looks, and now she has to put it on the ground, trying to get to the hoop a bit more. And so kudos to Carleton for creating a bit more of a chaotic situation for Garvey there.
You see from the highlights from Matosis Adderley, she has been a chief destroyer of TMU in this game. And when you go back to the OUA final with these 2 schools, Coach, what happened, Matosis Adderley had 16 points in that loss to TMU and finished with 4 rebounds, 3 dimes in that loss. So she definitely had a field day at times against TMU the last week or so.
They had 3 players in double digits that game, Mo, right? Matosis Adderley, you said it, 16 points. Dang had 12 and Urban had 10. Not enough to beat TMU in the finals, though.
And Poulin can't finish that. Beating on the rebound. Wide open is Matosis Adderley again. Watched closely by Idahosa. St. Pierre, post play. Francis will go to the free throw line.
On the catch there, Francis, I mean, she saw a few white jerseys around her, but not enough to impact the fact that she could take a shot. And so, although they were there, they were not so impactful. And maybe too late, and that's probably why she got to the free throw line.
And the free throw confirmed by Francis. And she's been growing into this game here. In fact, when they played here today, Francis now is 2 of 3 from the free throw line for 2 points. And overall, when you look at the bench play for Carleton, Francis only had 2 points and 3 rebounds in the OUA loss to TMU last Saturday. McDonald now, dribble for dribble, back out it comes. Dennis with it. McDonald again. McDonald short, rebound, Carleton. 1:55 left. Oliver's on the go, and Poulet did not see her cleanly. And back out to Oliver in the flats. Garvey on her. Oliver posting, going strong to the rim and in. And that is a Catherine Oliver finish of excellence.
It's very impressive from Oliver right there, really taking Garvey in that paint.
9-point lead, the biggest lead for either side. And this is uncharted territory for TMU. And this will be free throws coming up for Caripe, who's shooting 62%. And I look at Jessica Caripe as being probably the X factor now for TMU, that perhaps her number will be called to be more of a tour de force for the Bold.
Caripe is a veteran player. You know, she saw first year on her. She took advantage of her speed, took advantage of her physical play, and just went right at her.
Caripe in the first free throw to get that run at the end, and now they're down by a score of 27-19, an 8-point gap between them and TMU. And 1:29 left here in this first half. Second attempt confirmed. 7-point lead for Carleton over TMU. Matosas Adderley back at the controls of the ship, and we'll defer to KJ Poulain. And you see now TMU trying to take away the speed of Carleton. And that was a shot that was lacking quality from Carleton. Coney back on the go. 1:10 left in this first half. That's stumbling, that's fumbling, and we're going the other way.
Right, once again, Coney went too deep, going right into Kiana, and Kiana having help from her teammate there, creating that turnover from TMU.
Poulain back with it. The two box office names, Poulain and Kone. Another missed opportunity by the Ravens, and we saw the miscues yesterday by McGill that enabled Carleton to come back when McGill had a 7-point lead late fourth quarter and couldn't hit those easy freebies at the lip of the cup.
I mean, this is a great play from Kiana Jade-Poulain, seeing her first-year teammate, Bryn Hardy, in that paint, giving her a quick shot underneath the rim with no defender. You know, she'll get better at it, obviously. Those are wide-open layups, and I'm confident that she'll make those if she gets another opportunity at it.
From Carleton Place, Ontario. It was meant to be for her to be a Carleton Raven. And that is a finish right there for Caripe. And it's a 4-0 run for TMU, down by 5. 30 seconds left in this first half. Poulain in, repelled. Caripe will be called for the foul, and this will be free throws coming up here for KJ Poulain. I would imagine they see from the highlight here from KJ Poulain, able to penetrate through, that she would be an early odds-on favorite for MVP of the OUA next year.
I mean, she's been an all-star in the last 3 years, and so why not her?
But hopefully against U of T, she won't be an MVP.
Hopefully not, always. But I mean, you have great talent in the OUA. You're talking about Kiana Jade-Poulain, but listen, Kone was really close to get the MVP this year as well. And so these two young athletic players that has a toolbox full of tools can really be the MVP of the league, and obviously without talking about the other ones in our league.
Well, there is now a 3-second difference with the big and small clock. 20 ticks to go in this first half play. Kone, Poulain, help along the way on the switch, and now the utter disorganization of bodies results in a turnover going in favor of Carleton.
They called a moving screen on the young on the young Dennis here.
And that is baptism by fire. They'll have to learn the hard way sometimes on how to play at this high level of basketball at the U Sports. Here is Poulet around Kone, the jumper. Rebound Karipe. They can play for the last shot perhaps. 2 seconds left on the game clock. And now here's the Hail Mary, and that won't happen. And at the end of the first half, it is Carleton 28, TMU 22. You're watching the 2026 U Sports Women's Final, and Kone is down on the ground, in fact. And she did get hit in the face, in fact, before we go to break here. But Kone's down, so we'll see if she's going to be okay coming back into this game here. Don't forget halftime profile on Miriam Kone and Catherine Oliver. You're watching the 2026 Sun Life U Sports Women's Basketball Final 8, presented by Michelob in Hilton, Quebec on CBC.
Hi, my name is Miriam Kone. I'm a fourth-year student in psychology at the University of TMU. Well, I got started in basketball at the age of 7. I used to live in France because I was born there, and my mom registered me for like camps, and I actually went to camp. Well, I went to go to the volleyball camps, but when I went to the basketball camps, I did not like it. But as I kept getting better and better, I started like to fall in love with the sport, and then when I moved to Canada, I got into competitive teams, and I thought it was really fun, and I really enjoyed myself. I would say my style of play is pretty shifty. I like to keep the game fun and exciting, and lots of finesse, a bit slippery as well, but yeah, that's how I describe my style of play. I think success is built through connection. I mean, we built this on like 3 words for our team, and it's composure, connect, and celebrate, and I think that even just spoke to our season this year and how we finished. Oh, still not done, but in the OUA. I think just staying together throughout like the ups and downs, and yeah, just working hard each and every day and coming in and feeling no regret leaving. I think that's really big. I look up to my parents specifically. I look up to my mom. She's such a hard worker. She came here and she literally studied to get a undergrad degree in teaching, and she's a French speaker too, and went to school also in English, and is still also working to potentially do another master's degree as well. So I mean, I look up to her. She's such a hard worker. I love her so much, and just I aspire to be the woman that she is. And my dad as well, for working so hard day in and day out. No matter how cold it is, no matter how tired he is, he still gets up at 5 a.m. and goes to work as a journeyman carpenter. And I think that's my parents. They've just been amazing, and obviously as well God. I believe in my faith, and I feel like through these hard moments when I'm feeling doubt, I can always talk to him, and he can always be there for me. And yeah, I mean, that means the world to me. Yeah.
not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
Hi, my name is Catherine Oliver. I'm a second-year student at Carleton University. I study law, and I'm a guard at the Carleton women's basketball team. I started playing basketball when I was 8 years old. My sister taught me in our front yard, and we used to just play with all my family, my dad, my brother. We used to play games like Bump and 21, and that's how I got into it, and I started playing at elementary school. I think I would describe my style of game. I really focus on defense. I like to shoot the ball, and I try to get multiple attacks. I like the pace of the game, so I try to speed it up sometimes and try and stay composed. I think success is really important within your team. Even if you win or you lose, there's always like this feeling of being a team at the end of the day. And the girls that we have, the girls that I'm surrounded with are the people that I want to surround myself with for the next years. So I see that as a personal win. And I think that no matter the outcome, we should be happy with the relationships we've created. That's a hard question because I look up to a lot of people. I would have a very long list of teammates that I played with, coaches, just people that I met along the way while playing basketball. But I think that the people that I really, really look up to the most are Carly McBain, my best friend, who's been through a lot of injuries and she's still playing basketball. That's really inspiring to me. My mother, my dad, my sister, my brother, my grandfather. I have like all of my teammates that showed me how to play basketball at Carleton. I'll forever be grateful for everybody that like helped me through the hardest times. I think that over time, these people are gonna be my best friends, and I'll forever cherish the relationships I have with them. And I also think that with basketball, when I first got here at Carleton, it's a very hard program. It's tiring, but your teammates, like my vets, were always there to show me the way and show me how to push through the hardest moments. So,
where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan. A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Welcome back here. Look at the Wilson halftime stats, Coach. And again, not the most pristine numbers of a field goal shooting to look at for both teams. But the bottom line is that Carleton's up by 6. And they had a better effort from the three-point range. That was a talking point. But looking at these stats here, what has to change for TMU to kind of make it more even keel for them?
They'll have to try to get Garvey going. I mean, again, she hasn't had the chance to, see a clean look from the three-point range. But ultimately, again, Mo, this is their third time facing each other. They know each other really well. And so you expect these kind of numbers, really playing a defensive game on both ends.
And one thing to look at here for the second half, you always talk about the first 3 minutes of the second half. Who needs it more?
Obviously, TMU in this case here. Only scoring 22 points in the first half. I mean, that's almost unknown for TMU.
But in the case that you bring up that it's TMU, would it not be Carleton because you're holding that lead, and psychologically speaking, you're talking about a TMU team that has blown out opponents game in, game out. You see from highlights here from Franco de Reich scoring that basket, but the point that is as important for Carleton to kind of be composed, not lose their concentration levels, what could happen in the second half now.
Absolutely, Mo. I mean, when you're up going into half, it's easier for the players to kind of just relax and come into this third quarter a bit more, like I said, relax. So, yes, TMU is going to go in there, make some adjustment, and just come in and try to, cut this lead.
And we'll see what they can do from kind of the league. I see from the highlights right there. Again, earlier this season, when you look at these teams playing each other, in terms of what had happened this year, the OUA final that they had. And again, when they played at Carleton, TMU won 66-43. Wasn't even on the same wavelength in terms of the effort for both teams, that effort. So really, this is definitely a 180 from where we are a few months ago to where we are now, that Carleton has the upper hand and are looking to administer the final blow to this job, TMU, the OUA champions at the National. So we'll see what happens here moving forward.
Yeah, it is also very difficult to win 3 times in a row. Right, so that's something to take into account. Not that it's not doable; it is definitely doable. But Carleton is showing a lot of resistance, and they're playing some really good basketball right now. And obviously, I'm looking forward to this second half here, where TMU can make a run and hopefully get a few players going. And same thing for Carleton, get a few players going.
Well, what else I'm looking forward to, Coach?
Please tell me.
Well, to tease everyone out there, it is semifinal Saturday. Semifinal 1, semifinal 2 that we'll have. Those are going to be 2 great matchups that we will get to enjoy as neutrals, and for those watching coast to coast, that we'll have here from St. Paul, Quebec, from Laval University at the 2026 Sun Life Youth Sports Women's Final 8. And take a look at the bracket, which will come up in a couple seconds here. I mean, Calgary, UNB. Calgary came out of the group of death in their own division, where 2 of those teams could easily have been. One is here, but the other one, Regina, could have been here, and they're not. And you see from the bracket right now, Dinos, UNB, the battle of the red and black, because both teams wear those colors. That's going to be fascinating. And, of course, Laval, the host, taking on the Queens in Saskatchewan. Those are going to be compelling matchups to look forward to today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see the matchup between the 2 guards from University of Saskatchewan and Laval. You have Khalifi on one end that is extremely strong, physical, and then you have Gage Grasick that also has that profile. So I'm excited to see that battle. On the other end, the excitement to see Courtney Oss going at Katie Butts and seeing how that matchup works out for either team.
And you look at all 3 of the 4 teams. When you think about it right now, Laval has not won a national championship. UNB has never won a national championship. Calgary won only 1, and that was in '89. And Saskatchewan has won a plethora of them. So really, the experience of championship pedigree is on the side of Saskatchewan. But in a one-off here, given that it's deemed a neutral site host, it's Laval's home court, that could be an X factor for them. But for UNB and for Calgary, uncharted territory to be at this point deep in the season. Look at
the show up in the big moments, and that's exactly what we're looking forward to tonight.
That's going to be fun games to have, 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It would not surprise any of us in this booth if it ends up going into overtime, one of the games. And that would cancel the 8 o'clock plans that you have later on today.
I mean, the plans is to watch probably the men's bracket, Mo.
I might be sleeping because it is, remember, the clocks move forward tonight. So the extra hour of sleep will be huge for us tomorrow when we do the bronze and gold medal games tomorrow night here from Laval. So we get ready now for second half action. It is TMU, it is Carleton, it is Diana Ross, it is Mo Khan, and it is Carleton up by 6 going towards the second half. Could TMU come back and finish off Carleton to get 5th place, or will it be Carleton's to lose? Karipe, Kone, double teamed again. Every time she gets close enough, they collapse on her. The 3. Rebound, Karipe again, taken away by Carleton, and they go back the other way.
TMU was able to find Garvey on that here on a wide open shot. She missed it, but that's a really good shot for TMU, and even Karipe crashing that O-board.
And back with it is Garvey's 3. And so far, the three-point shot has been below standards, only 1 of 10. Kone again in a one-on-one with Matosis Adley, and she is fouled. And we'll go to the line for 2 free throws coming up here for TMU.
Starting some action really early and really, a lot of ball pressure, creating turnovers, getting some offensive rebound. I mean, this second half is going to be a tight one, Mo.
And you talk about the free throw shooting for both teams. Carleton was 7 of 10. Toronto Met was 5 of 7 in that first half. And overall, the numbers for Miriam Kone on 10 points, make it 11 points. And with that, we'll see if she can get this going forward again here. Oh my, missing 2 free throws. A rare miscue for her. She's a 73% free throw shooter this season. Matosis, Adelaide, bamboozling, rebound. And here is Kone the other way. And Miriam Kone reminds me of a player that you played with during your McGill days.
Tell me.
I'll tell you after this play. And here is Franco Derek with it. I'll tell you right now, she reminds me, and I believe she wears the same number as here, Franco Derek from 16. And that's her spot, and she hits that cleanly down by 4. So Kone reminds me of Gladys Hakizimana.
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah,
Former
I can
McGill
see
player.
it. Yeah, great point guard.
Did she wear number 4 as well?
I believe she did, and then when I graduated, she might have taken that number 5.
So she siphoned that from you after you left.
After I left.
And back with it is Urban. Urban at the death, denied. Shot clock violation, and that is the TMU defending that they want, the stamp of approval defending their rim.
Really? You see her as Gladys? This is
Well,
funny.
the reason why I say that, and here's a highlight from Urban going for it, and that was well repelled by Franco Derek. The reason why is this: you look at her body expression of the ball in her hands, it reminds me of Hakizimana, who was a wonderful player with McGill, won the national title in 2017.
She did have that ball on her string, though.
Yes, and the same thing with Kone. She's a magician with the dark arts of basketball, where you think it's there, and next thing you know, it's through the hoop.
Yeah. She was a natural scorer and a natural shooter. I'm going to give it to you.
Thank you. I'll pat myself in the back right now. But right now, concern for TMU. There is an injured player on the court. I believe that is Garvey, who's down on the ground. Number 17, I think it is. I believe it is So Garvey from our vantage point. So they'll have a quick unofficial timeout here. And we know her value as a member of this Bold roster, scoring 16 a game this year from Ottawa, Ontario. And you hope this isn't the end of the road for her today, even with her hands on her head by the body expression that she's showing right now.
She seems to be in a lot of pain. And again, you don't want anyone going down in the tournament, even if it's the last game of the tournament or last half of the tournament. It's still, it's so sucky to see.
It's the absolute worst. We saw that yesterday with UBC, one of their players going down, and it appears like Garvey's day might be done, unfortunately, which is awful news to see because one of the best players on this roster, and they lose that firepower that she brings on the court, and that will put more stress on Franco Derek and Kone to be the next big players on this roster.
And, she hasn't been that efficient today, but, because she has the reputation to be a knockdown shooter, and, she does it really well, she does stretch the floor for TMU, and, without having her out there, well, Pino is coming back, and she does stretch that floor for her.
So could it be now McDonald? That could be the third option scorer for this TMU roster.
Yeah, McDonald is a very good choice. Although she is 0 for 4 from that three-point line, but she can always get hot.
Oliver from the flats. Rebound, Franco DeReich. 7:45 left in this third quarter of play. In this cat and mouse game, 4-point lead for Carleton. Kone. The teardrop. And the shooter's touch going in. Never in doubt from Kone.
That's such a skilled attack there with a low pickup into that teardrop like you just spoke about.
Inch perfect on that shot. 7:25 left. 2-point lead for Carleton. And caught in two minds is Oliver. And another turnover by Carleton. And I believe now for them, Coach, with the numbers going up here for turnovers, that is number 11.
So Carleton has 11 turnovers. TMU has 10, so they're really just exchanging those numbers here.
It's almost like Christmas in March. So those turnover exchanges are not very happy, and that is not a happy shot for Caripe, and back over it comes to St. Pierre.
This is what Frankie DeReich does. She's able to guard all position with her length and her anticipation skills.
Oliver can't get that over Franco DeReich, and a rebound back to Coney the other way.
And she also does that, deterring some shots, rebounding.
And that is walled off again by Beatty. Dennis. Franco DeReich around the protractor. Kone right down Carleton Street, and the lead back to TMU.
That's a big shot from Kone there. Got some confidence back into this third quarter.
Does it with the economy of shots, and she is wonderful for this TMU roster. And here is her counterpart, another alpha in Poulain. And Franco DeReich, one of the top defenders, wants the top hitter. Post play, Urban. And Franco DeReich right there with it as she now pushes the agenda. 2-on-1. And Dennis might have, I beg your pardon, that might have been the wrong option for Pino. And it goes out of bounds because Pino had Caripe open in the transition but didn't see her cleanly. And now coming back in the game is Dang along with Matosis Adderley. We've not mentioned Dang's name in quite a while. She missed a bit of the second quarter of action here, and she could be the more influential player for Carleton.
Yeah, I mean, she was so impactful on the defensive end earlier on. She was deflecting some passes. She was able to deter some shots and, obviously being perfect on the field as well. She went 3 for 3, and so, excited to see what she does in this third quarter.
Missed by Poulain. Rebound by Poulain. Knocked over Poulain. And this will be foul on TMU with 5:30 left in this quarter play. And that'll be the first team foul on TMU in this quarter of action. And this will be end line here for Carleton with 5:30 left in this third quarter play. Here is Poulain again on the elbow against Kone using the deltoids. Rebound, Beatty through her hands, jump ball, and the arrow pointing towards Carleton, so this will remain in TMU territory. A new 14-second shot clock for Carleton.
They're really battling for that offensive rebound.
You were mentioning before the offensive rebounds and how it's been so far in this game. It's 8-6 for TMU.
Yeah.
Beatty. Back out, space to work with for Poulain. Matosis Adderley, 4 left from the center arc. Splash.
Again, she's been so impactful. Matosis Adderley is 2 for 2 from the three-point line with 8 points so far, but she is also impactful everywhere else right now. She has 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and so she's really she has her hands all over that offense.
All force for her. Poulain trying to force the issue, and that will be free throws for her. 2-point lead for Carleton. So all of a sudden, Carleton's gone on a run of its own. I see from the highlight here from Poulain.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ella McDonald was in a good space to kind of just keeping her hand up and, forcing Kiana Jade-Poulain to shoot it over the top, but instead she just, was a bit undisciplined with it, brought her hand back down and allowing the ref to call that, even though maybe it wasn't a contact foul, right? You're just giving the ref a chance to call something.
It was more like a tickle. More like a tickle in that foul. And we have a plethora of subs here. Timeout called by both teams. We'll have a timeout here. You're watching the 2026 U Sports Sun Life Women's Basketball Final 8 presented by Michelob in Hilton, Quebec on CBC. Carleton up by 4 over TMU.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Catch the best U Sports men's hockey teams as they face off at the 2026 University Cup presented by Steel Mazda, live from Halifax. Action begins March 19th, 12 p.m. East on the CBC platforms, GEM, CBCSports.ca, and on the YouTube page for CBC Sports, U Sports on CBC, where champions are made. We are in the present moment. It is Laval and Calgary hosting the men's and women's. And next year, Halifax will be hosting the men's and women's draw for basketball. So, Coach, perhaps you will be there coaching.
I hope so. That's the goal.
You're going to have to overcome these two teams in front of you to get there. And Kone, who is a part of the furniture of the TMU living room, losing the handle, and she will be called for a ticky-tack, dilly-dally foul away from the nets.
That's the fourth team foul, and still half of the time in this quarter left, a bit less.
And we'll see what they can do now with 4:47 left in this third quarter play.
Seems like Garvey is not back on the bench yet, so you might be right. She might be out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, she's in the black 10 in the far corner to our far left. High-low again, and that has been their DNA for Carleton, but that time it got disjointed. And back over it comes to TMU. Franco Durek, a bit of a quiet start for her in this game, and had 2 early fouls, but now trying to find more of an establishment of presence. Gripe. Here is Pino. She could definitely light it up from long range. 6 left in the shot clock. Franco Durek facing up. She's on 6 points. Gripe's 3. Nylon. And now they are down by 1.
She saved that possession right there with a catch and shoot on it. You know, without Garvey there that can put the ball on the ground and play make for TMU, their offense seems to be a bit more static.
Matosis Adderley. One-touch pass. Too much spice in that. Here's Franco Durek. Gripe on her bike. Drop pass. The 3. And not the lead.
Speaking of playmaking, you can't count Haley Franco Durek out of that one. She can definitely play make in transition.
Matosis Adderley now with it. Inside the teeth. Back out towards Poulin. Well defended by Kone. She starts it. And she will not finish it, but will be fouled as she fizzed down court, and now looking for the perfect picture finish on that replay here.
Right, this is just a veteran move by Kone there. Really try to initiate contact, or not try, she did initiate contact on Olivia Richardson, which is only a first year for Carleton. But again, these kind of experience on, you know, getting onto that national stage and getting some minutes and playing time is going to be so valuable for this young Carleton team.
And with 3:21 left, we're back to 33-33 here. Low scoring game. Again, these are teams that score 65 points or more. Both teams are in the top 20 of Canada for scoring. And this is a TMU team that's in top 10, number 6 in Canada at 75 points. So really, Coach, this might be benefiting Carleton playing this helter-skelter slow burn of the game.
Yeah, and you know, Mo, going to nationals, these teams are the best teams in the country in terms of defense, and so you kind of expect that. And we talked about it earlier. It's a quick turnaround from, you know, day 1, 2, and 3, especially in that consolation final bracket.
Kone again. to Franco de Reich. Coney on the rebound off of Dang. This remains TMU ball with 14 left in the shot clock, 2:47 left on the game clock.
Coney has 17 points and 9 rebounds so far in this game. And so she's really all over the place on this game here.
Not that time. Rebound right back over to Urban. And she's protecting that basketball like a precious jewel. And this will be TMU ball on the side out. A potential free possession here for TMU, trying to be more clinical with the ball in hand. Franco de Reich. Idiosa. Kone again on the pick from the line. And that is her geography. And a timeout call with 2:31 left. And you see the frustration from Carleton. They looked a little lax in the approach the last minute or so. And TMU's up by 3, Coach.
Right, again, Kone wanted that ball. She wanted to get exactly where she was successful yesterday in that paint. And so as soon as, she got that ball screen, she re-screened right away, got into that paint, elevated. And as soon as she elevates, there's not much she can do there.
Well, it has not been demoralizing for Carleton, but that could be a demoralizing moment for them because that could be a swing play for TMU. But we'll see how they do moving forward here. Look at the stats right now. Carleton, the numbers have dropped dramatically. They're only shooting 25% overall in this game. TMU has moved up a little higher. They're at 31%. And overall, when you look at the three-point numbers, again, almost identical. 40% for Carleton, and it's 21% for TMU. But again, it's 4 of 10, 3 of 14, so really it cancels each other out. And with this final 2 and change left in this third quarter, could Carleton go on a run of points? We'll find out here.
Yeah, hoping that, Carleton's timeout will be enough to kind of regroup this young team so that they can get into a groove themselves.
And we'll see what type of groove they can get into. 2:31 left here. Coach Dana Ross of U of T, MoCon on this Saturday afternoon. And we are about to head into the business end of this tournament. The semifinals today, then the medal games tomorrow. And then we'll be on our way home. Not Sunday, Monday. The 3. That can't find a home from Poulin. And the rebound right there, loose ball, Oliver on it, and this will be Carleton ball with 2:15 left.
Poulin is having a hard day. She can't find the bottom of the net. She's only 1 for 11 from the field today. Although she has 8 points, she knocked down 6 free throws. The game, she still has a lot of time in this game to get that lid off that rim.
Well, you take away those 1 of 11 numbers here, Carleton would be 9 of 29 from the field. So really a poor shooting effort all around from the Ravens.
Was that a technical foul called?
And it is so, and who is this against?
I believe to the bench or to the coach.
But Urban will hit that one as they punish them on that miscue. And this will be on the coach. So on TMU's coach, unfortunately not the most ideal time to get a tech. And here comes the catch and shoot from Poulin. And now, in 2 blinks of the eye, they're back to 36-36.
As I speak about it, Kiana Jacques-Poulin heard me, and she's like, I got you, D.
Back out it comes. Open space, wide open 3. And Idiosa will put them back up by 2. And that is a smooth play by her.
Again, a veteran player that knows, on that attacking that closeout and getting to her spot and creating an opportunity for her team to, get 2 extra points on that scoreboard.
Jumper. Rebound. Oliver. Open space from the center arc in the lead. Coney can't get to it. Urban does. Another 14-second shot clock for Carleton. Poulin in. Rebound again, and still going at it. And the hard work, the alterations made by Carleton on that sequence will have them at the free throw line.
Mo, this is where it's going to be played for Carleton. As you can see, Kiana goes up there, but this is their 11th offensive rebound. Mo, Dang, we know she is lengthy, she is, big, she has good hands. She knows where to place herself so that she can get into TMU's basket.
Well, they're very diligent when it comes to rebounding. They had 6 games of 50 rebounds or more this season. So they definitely can find it themselves. They have magnets in their hands.
That is impressive.
The stat or them? I know the stats.
I think them or both. You know, these are.
I want to make sure here, you know.
I mean, same. Tomato.
There you go, exactly. And Urban got knocked over by one of the TMU players. And that will put TMU at 5 fouls in the quarter with 1:07 left. And it's bonus time for the Ravens, who are down by 1. And that is the 3rd foul on Idahosa, who is going to be kept on the court. Again, there is no Garvey for the moment, so they're a bit shorthanded in terms of the roster allocation available to them. And it'll be Urban at the line for Carleton for a chance to tie and perhaps take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto has been running into some foul trouble, like you said earlier. Franco Direct with 3 fouls. Idahosa, you just mentioned it, 3 fouls. But also Alan McDonald that has been on the bench with 4 fouls, especially with Garvey out there. Still not being able to come back into the game. Ella McDonald can stretch that floor and can really give some offense to TMU.
And Kone, a pivotal player who can definitely bring it herself. She's one of those picture book type of players that gives you those highlights forever. Tie game 38 apiece. Idahosa. Kone. 6 left in the shot clock for TMU. Career pace 3. And Franco Direct is fouled.
She has such a knack for the ball, Mo. It is impressive. You know, the shot goes up, she's not looking. Everyone's looking at the ball. Franco Direct keeps moving, and she gets that, and she's putting herself in a situation where she can contribute offensively to her team.
Terrific poise by Franco Direct, but again, her free throw shooting will be something that will be requiring an autopsy on how to improve that number next season. And she is 1 of 2, and TMU back up by 1 with 40 seconds left in this quarter of play. Matosis Adderley back with it. Watched closely by Bollybrook. Urban, near side. Oliver. 8 left in the shot clock. Open 3. Another missed 3 for Carleton. They're now 4 of 13. And Kone back with it, 15 ticks left. Shot clock is off from the flats. Bollybrook. And another missed 3, rolling out of bounds with 9.3 left in the game clock of the 3rd quarter.
I mean, great push from Karipe on that, finding Koenig. Koenig was unselfish and was able to find her first year Reese Bollybrook in the corner for an open 3.
Poulet for the lead. Rebound, Kone. And at the end of 3, it is TMU 39, and it is Carleton 38. We are through 3 quarters of play here from St. Foy, Quebec at Laval University. You're watching the 2026 Sun Life U Sports Women's Basketball Final 8, presented by Michelob in Hilton, Quebec on CBC. Stay tuned.
Le sport en direct sur icitout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles. Des athlètes de grand talent. Des sports de haut niveau. Tout ça sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est simple et gratuit sur icitout.tv.
Women's volleyball is heading to Langley, BC for the 2026 U Sports Volleyball Championship, presented by Booster Juice, March 13th to 15th. Catch the action exclusively on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, CBC Sports YouTube, all on CBC, where champions are made. Women's volleyball right now, March 13th to the 15th. Is that next week? Yeah, it is
It
next
is
week.
next week.
Next week, yes. Time is flying out here. And now we're in the fourth quarter of this season for both teams, TMU and Carleton. Kone. Franco Durek. That is the telepathy and the interplay 1-2 punch at the arc.
What a beautiful pass from Kone, and even a better finish from Franco Durek there.
That's the flexibility of those two going at it today.
Yeah. Wow.
A quick hands again. 9:30 left in this fourth quarter of action. Oliver going to the left. Muscling her way through. Stopping, popping, nope, kicking out. Oliver, Karipe on her. 2 left in the shot clock for 3. And that was well defended by TMU.
Kone with her 11th rebound, pushing that transition there.
Kone. Bollybrook now going in, knocking over Urban and getting the 2 and the autograph on Urban.
Wow, that's a strong move from a first-year Bollybrook.
Well, that is upper body strength at its finest. The TMU workout program is working well for the Bold. Post play Urban. And she will go at it, and she comes up with her 2 points right around Idahosa.
They're just exchanging baskets. She has now 7 points and 7 rebounds in this game.
3-point lead for TMU, 8:30 left in this ball game. Idahosa, will she go at Urban? No. Deferring to Kone. Urban on the rebound. And with it is Poulin on the right side. Matosis Adderley, Oliver in the corner, trying to fend off and get around Karipe. Post play, Dang. 8 left in the shot clock. The 3. And the lead is now down to a 43-43 tie game.
Yeah, Kiana Poulin knocks down her first 3 in the game. She's now 1 for 4 with 13 points. But as you can see, she was able to get the ball inside to Dang and a kick out right after and find herself open on that 3. And much easier shot than the one that Kone just took before.
And that is going to be a foul call as TMU will go to the line here. Again, TMU is 8 of 13 from the line. Carleton 12 of 17. So both teams have missed 5 free throws each in this matchup. You see from the replay there, Kone having an influence with Karipe as well. And now Karipe at the line. Quite the latitude for her in terms of her ability for this team, missing that free throw. And they're now 8 of 14 from the line.
Yeah, it's going to be important for them to start converting these free throws at the end of the game or in the fourth quarter.
Well, we saw the free throws kill McGill yesterday, unfortunately, with them missing, I believe it was 9 or 10, and they had to lose them by 2.
Yeah, that's still a nightmare, I'm sure, for those players and that staff.
And the nightmare is Poulin for TMU, and now they're back up by 1.
You talked about offensive rebound, Mo. That's what it is.
And you have been a keen eye for the rebounds today. And right now, not the most keen eye from Dennis as that went right by her, but again, it will be TMU ball, last touched by Carleton. Or no, that'll be Carleton ball, I beg your pardon. And McDonald come back in, and we've had a quiet effort from Ellen McDonald. Not much going on for her today, and perhaps looking to get off the schneid. She's in a donut of points.
I mean, she's shown it against Laval. She was able to knock down a timely 3 in that corner, at the end of the game. And so, maybe she got some rest and is going to give a bit of a energy boost to TMU in this remaining 7 minutes.
And you see the replay for Franco Durek.
Yeah, Franco Durek coming in too quick for Matosis Adderley to set her feet and putting herself in a position to help TMU with tying the game here.
And Franco Durek missing another free throw. And not to spotlight that, and she gets the first one there, which is a sigh of relief for her. And now we're back to 45-45. Poulin. Working the angles again. Post play, Dang. Working around Franco Durek. And Franco Durek, one of the top defenders, providing the force of resistance. And back over it comes to McDonald. Here's Kone. Afterburners on. Trying to fend off Matosis Adderley. Backing up against her. The fade. The rebound, Carleton. And they'll slow down the stream of water going down the river. 15 left in the shot clock. Post play is Urban, and it would be Matosis Adderley going towards the hoop. Nothing yet to the left, in for two.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you have 4 fouls, that's where, you know, people are going to come at you and hoping that, you know, you either fouled out or you allow an easier basket and being less physical.
Franco Durag and Kone have combined for 24 of the 45 points today for TMU. Make it 26 of the 47 points for TMU, and we're back to 47 apiece.
Kone just missed before that turnaround jumper, and now she's able to get back into her bag and knock down that midi.
She's gone into her bag a few times. With it is Urban. Watched closely by Dennis. Dang. And she tried to corkscrew her body into prominent position, and that will stop play with 5:44 left on the end line coming up here for Carleton. And back in the game is Oliver off to St. Pierre. 5:44 left. And as you said before, Coach, we've seen them use their first-year players to experiment how they're going to react. At this point now, where it's nip and tuck in the business end of the final 5:44, will they shorten the benches to kind of go out there and get the win with the best on best?
I mean, reality is TMU doesn't have that chance to do it anymore. She has no chance but getting into her younger players just because Garvey is out with an ankle injury. Now, Carleton has a roster full of first years, so yes, you know, giving them an opportunity right now is going to be beneficial, you know, down the road in their career.
And a miss right there, and the rebound by Urban. And with 5:15 left in this fourth quarter play, could this be the moment now for Carleton? Urban, rebound, and this will be Carleton ball with 5:08 left in this quarter of play.
Once again, Deng creating something out of nothing for Carleton there, right? Fighting for that offensive rebound. Even though she wasn't able to put up a shot, she still gave that possession off to Carleton.
Urban again. Oh, nearly quick hands from Karipe. Urban, could this be the shot? Rims out and right into Karipe's hand. South of 5, great game. We've had 2 games in a row that's gone out to the final act, and this could be it here with these two teams going at it today. Oliver for 3. Rebound into the hands of Karipe. And back to McDonald comes. Kone awaits for the reinforcements, and now waiting for Dennis to come by and pick and pop. Kone again. And that was cheeky by Kone. You talk about Khalifi being able to create something out of nothing. Kone did that on Matosis Adderley.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's talking about angles, flow. She was able to really make Matosis Adderley bite onto her fake and then, you know, kind of pull her out and just attacking her hip right away, and that's just a veteran move right there.
You're watching the U Sports Sun Life Women's Final 8 from Laval, Quebec. Brought to you by Michelob in Quebec. Hilton. Stay tuned for the final action.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan. A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
As you see on your screen, tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, it is the gold medal game. Who's playing? We'll find out in the next 2 games. Could it be Calgary? Could it be UNB? Could it be Saskatchewan? Could it be Laval? We will know in about 5 hours from now who's going to play who. Tune in tomorrow on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and of course on the YouTube page, all on the CBC platforms, and Coach will know soon enough. But right now we have a good one here, a barn burner, 2-point lead for Carleton over TMU. McDonald back with it. Caripe. And Oliver getting the autograph from Caripe. Franco Dorek. Caripe on Poulin, and that's defended well by Dang.
Who else than Dang on that?
She might be the player of the game, quietly having an effort at both ends of the court.
Sometimes, Mo, you know, the impact that you can have on a game is not shown on a stat sheet, although this one it is, but you know, she's been so spectacular for them.
Not that time. And back with it is Kone. And Kone has a 4-and-4 behind the back. McDonald's three. She needs it. Can't get it. Rebound right towards the jump ball arrow. And this is going to be Carleton possession the other way.
Ella McDonald has gone ice cold in this game here. She is now 0 for 5 from three-point line with 4 fouls. She's still trying to get her groove with the 4 last minutes of this game, and Garvey out of the game.
So Poulin, Matosis, Adderley have combined for 27 points. Kone, Franco Direct have combined for 31 points. So really the supporting cast has not been as prevalent in this game and in games past. Urban. And another rebound, and now they're 5 of 18 from long range. Kone. And this is back to Poulin. She's by herself, Oliver and Trail, and will Poulin go for it herself. Oliver. Switch of play. Matosis Adderley, open three. 5 of 19. And TMU on the rebound. They're down by 2 with 3:05 left in this fourth quarter play.
That's a good offense from Carleton. She was able to swing that ball to the weak side and still get an open shot, but you know, unfortunately couldn't hit. But all in all, really good offense from Carleton there.
Kone. Going to her left. Fade. And that hoop is not going in at all until Franco de Right on cleanup, and now 6 to make it a 49-49 game.
Franco de Right, again, being at the right spot at the right time, you know, finishing with 2 there.
And she's been good. 12 points today for the Bold. 2:32 left in this game. Urban. And that finds the shooter's touch. Field of innovation by Urban, and now they're back up by 2.
Urban is now flirting with a double-double so far.
And coach, this might be the 3rd straight game that might be a photo finish. Franco Dorike with the perfect picture, National Geographic-like.
So skilled on that, going into Euro step to the right-hand side. That's impressive for a 6'3" forward.
And she definitely is phenomenal for this TMU Bold roster. Poulin. Matosis Adderley, 4 left in the shot clock. Tough play. And the rebound, Franco de Reich. Play on we go. Pushing it. Caripe caught in 2 minds. And that ball is sent down to 407.
Right, again, she does it all for that team. You know, she has her imprint everywhere. On the rebounding end, on the blocks, able to finish, push transition. She's such an impressive player.
He saw Caripe's eyes bulge in the air, thinking she had a free layup right there, and that ball ended up on the QEW. 1:32 left. Game at parity. Nip and tuck has been full of jeopardy, full of twitch. Poulin looking back at the bench. Now will she take it herself with 10 left in the shot clock? Poulin on the switch. Eyeball to eyeball. Going into the lane. And that is the lead for Carleton.
Going right at the first year forward. Really not afraid of the moment. Kienajat Poulin knocking down a 2-point play.
Pressure makes diamonds, and she is a diamond herself. And there is a diamond right there in Kone. And again, Carleton not happy on the switch of some sort. Not too sure what coach was unhappy about, but Kone is a shot maker, bow and arrow on target.
Right. Again, you know, Kone going, attacking the ball screen coverage right there. Miscommunication from the Carleton team, as you can see there. You know, this is just high-level shot-making ability from each team here.
Well, right now, who can come up with the last say in this game. It is TMU, it is Carleton, a rematch from the OUA final from last Saturday at the TMU barn. And Carleton looking to exact revenge, and the conversation definitely spilled over to today. Look at the Wilson stats right now, and those numbers are swinging back and forth for either side.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, the three-point percentage right now for the Toronto Bold has been pretty low, 3 for 19 from that three-point range, whereas, you know, Carleton is at 26% with 5 for 19. But the biggest play here is if you look at the rebounding end, 41 to 34, right? You know, with 11 offensive rebound for Toronto Metropolitan. Same for Carleton, but, you know, both teams has been very aggressive to try to finish possession and you know, create opportunity and, you know, drawing fouls, getting kick-out threes with no defense set, especially off those offensive rebounds.
We'll see now what this is going to be like. We are 65 seconds away from maybe overtime or a potential winner. And who could be the star girl of this moment now for this opportunity coming up here? It's been a cat and mouse game with these two teams, and it is going to be Carleton on possession, and Kone will ruin that possession. 1 minute left in this fourth quarter of play.
That's a dangerous pass on a sideline out of bounds against a player that athletic.
And Urban on a water slide goes out of bounds. And this will be back over to TMU with 52 seconds left in the ball game.
A much better ball screen coverage from Urban on this play here. You know, you remember just before that timeout, that's when Kone was able to turn the corner, but this time around Urban did not allow her to do so and was able to, you know, even poke that ball out of bounds.
So Kone the inbounder on the side out. Franco to right. Here's Kone. This is who you want the ball in the hands of. 6 left in the shot clock for TMU. Could this be it? And right back to TMU goes, and that will not be it.
24-second shot clock violation.
And it will be Carleton's turn, and perhaps there could be another possession for TMU regardless of what Carleton does now.
Exactly. You still want to take a late shot unless you have a wide open look.
And we'll see who will release that shot. Is it Poulain? Is it Beatty? Is it Oliver? Is it Urban? Or is it Matosis Adderley? And here she is, going in. And that will stop clock. And I believe both teams had fouls to give, so that will kind of truncate the shot clock here for Ottawa and for TMU, which is now 23 seconds left, 40 left in the shot clock.
Yeah, I mean, still, TMU only has 2 fouls.
And that is a heart and mouth moment. And unfortunately for Beatty, it went right by her. And a timeout called by TMU, who will have 20 seconds left in this game to maybe pull off the smash and grab and finish 5th place.
Yeah, on this here, seeing Urban finding the hole and really giving a 2-point to her team there. On the other end, we saw that Euro step from Haley Franco de Rijk, and again, giving so much to her team in this last game of her season.
And we know that the men's draw will happen later on today. We know our good friend Dave DeViro, former McGill Redbird head coach.
Yes, he had worked very hard to be on that stage, and you know, he has the National Player of the Year in Aaron Rooms.
Yeah, Rooms is phenomenal. Do you see DeViro wearing that cowboy hat on Thursday?
I saw.
I know what looked more awkward, DeViro wearing the cowboy hat or him trying to wear the cowboy hat. Coach DeViro, a good man, a great coach in this sport of ours, has done it at all levels of Canada. And perhaps looking for that national title in Calgary, big one today that he'll have against Carleton. And it will be Bishops versus UVic. UVic, the defending national champions in the men's draw, and we have the defending women's national champions on this draw, Saskatchewan, who will play Laval later on today.
Mo, this one is going to be important now. You know, Coach Carly Clark kept the ball on the full court. That means that she can use that full 20.9 seconds. So
is that indication they want to get this to be the last second of a shot over here?
Exactly. You do not want Carleton to go in transition like they did against McGill yesterday.
They learned their lesson, perhaps. Kone, 8 left in the game clock. Eyeball to eyeball with Urban. Kone, 3 left. Kone for the win. We're going to go to overtime. Free basketball on the court. Franco de Rijk exhausted physically and will be helped up off the court. So overtime coming up here from Carleton and TMU. You're watching the 2026 Sunlight U Sports Women's Basketball Final 8 presented by Michelob in Hilton, Quebec on CBC. It is TMU, it is Carleton. Coach, we'll find out what's going to happen now moving forward. Stay tuned. Welcome back here to Laval University, St. Foy, the exact location, and it is TMU, it is Carleton. We are going to overtime. 40 minutes wasn't enough for them. They'll have to play 5 more, if not maybe more. So with that, Coach, what goes into overtime here? Because you're playing your 3rd game in 3 days, and the exhaustion level must be running on fumes for some of these teams here.
You know, Mo, at this point, you don't really think about being tired or whatsoever. It's 5 minutes left in your season. And then you get to play basketball in March, which not a lot of team gets to do, right? So you are really out there trying to do the best you can and enjoying the moments with your team, really. But ultimately, both teams have to be very fundamental and finishing possessions here.
We'll see if they can finish the possession now. It is a 53-53 game. And we'll see what will happen going forward here. It is 5 minutes of unscripted basketball going on right now. It's TMU, it's Carleton, and we'll see what alterations they've done here. And with it is Kone. Perhaps first one to 60 wins.
Yeah, that'd be a good guess, actually.
Kone. She could be the right guess as well. Pressure again on Kone. Here is McDonald. Very quiet day for her, watched by Oliver. McDonald denied. And guess who?
Dang.
Dang. You can say damn if you want, because that was what she did. She made it difficult for TMU to do anything when she's around the ball.
Now you can see they changed their ball screen coverage, or they're a bit more aggressive on Miriam Kone. Whenever she takes a ball screen, they do want her to get rid of the ball so that someone else can make plays.
And that is going to be a play coming up here for Franco de Rijk, and free throws for her with 4:36 left in overtime. And Franco de Rijk so far today has scored 14 of the 53 points. And free throws now 4 of 9. And Kone and Franco de Rijk have combined for 37 of the 53, make it 38 of the 54. And for Franco de Rijk, this is a much better free throw shooting effort, 5 of 10. So we'll see now what differences they can make here in this matchup, and a foul call on Kone.
Still only 2 team fouls. Sorry, this is the 3rd team foul for TMU. They still have another one to give before they hit bonus.
Oh, the final frontier of the season coming to head here. Poulet, open, Oliver, this is her spot. Rebound right back to Poulet, and now a new 14 to work with. Urban will take it herself. Quick hands from Kone. Transition up ahead, and now to McDonald it comes. TMU up by 1 over Carleton. Franco de Rijk. And Franco de Rijk's got his space to work with. Off balance, rebound, and this will be TMU ball.
Listen, you saw this, the few last possession, Kone was getting a lot of pressure off that ball screen, and then this time around they decided to get into a get, so now they can't really trap that ball screen, and then Franco de Rijk was able to create something.
And that was not something creative from Kone's repertoire, and this will go back to Carleton.
Yeah, somehow she thought she was fouled on that.
And 3:52 left in this ball game. Perhaps. It might be double overtime for all we know.
Why not, Mo? Why not?
Well, why not? We could have double OT if we want. Poulet, kick out. Extra pass. And it'll be Oliver back with it against McDonald. And that pass is not the right pass, and the arrow pointing towards Carleton, thankfully for them. And they'll get the ball back with 3:31 left in this ball game.
Yeah, I think as you can see that on that pass, I call it a first-year mistake. You're, putting your teammate in a really uncomfortable situation. When she caught that, there was like 3 players on, around her.
And this will be a shot clock violation on Carleton. And you have to think now, Coach, perhaps some of these players are running on fumes at this juncture of the tournament.
Perhaps. Or running off of adrenaline.
Perhaps. Kone. Rebound. Dang. And with it is Carleton. They have numbers up ahead. 3-on-2. Open space. Urban. And they'll have to slow it down again. A quick pass from McDonald to ruin that pass.
Carleton is solid running into that transition. Urban didn't like her look underneath the rim. She decided to settle and find her teammate, her fourth-year teammate, Kiana Jade-Poulin.
Here is Poulin. Matosis Adderley against Karipe. Dribbling hard, and the jump ball arrow well timed by the veteran and Franco DeRike. She laid the trap, and Matosis Adderley, the rookie, falling into it, and it goes back to TMU.
We don't talk a lot about Karipe, but Karipe has been doing a fantastic job on Matosis Adderley. And a very silent 8-point and 10 rebounds for Karipe.
That is a blue-collar effort. I never like that term, blue-collar.
Yeah, I just learned that this week.
Did you
this
really?
Weekend.
That McGill education did not give you that term, blue-collar?
Well, not in the basketball world. I know what a blue-collar means. It's just that, basketball, how do you use that in here?
You're telling me that Ryan Thorne, your former head coach at McGill, did not use blue-collar effort from any of your players?
Absolutely not. You probably use other terms. But maybe I should listen more to, your broadcast and get these going.
Only my mom listens to my broadcast. And right now there's Kone back on the inbound. Franco DeRike bamboozling her way through, and TMU's up by 3.
Yeah, Coach Danny Sinclair is not happy with the miscommunication on that attack from Franco DeRike.
And the quick hands again. And Carleton has yet to score a point in overtime. Karipe, and Kone's down on the ground, slow to get up. And she is in pain, and we hope it's nothing more than a cramp. And again, that is severe pain on Kone's face. And it appears it's lower body by her pointing of where the pain is coming from.
Yeah, again, you never want players to go down, man. This is just tough.
And you mentioned before, late season injuries can derail the start. And here's a replay of what happened to Kone, and it appears she fell hard on her knee. No intentional contact from Matosis Adderley. It just felt like she just fell down hard on her knee.
She seems to be in a lot of pain right now.
And with 2:19 left in this ball game, we talk about running on fumes. That could be 2 players now for TMU, in Kone and Garvey, who've combined to score on average 37 points per game.
Yeah, if anything, TMU want that clock to run down very quickly with a 3-point lead.
They like to have a running clock if they can do so. But right now the concern is Kone and her on the ground. And the longer this goes in terms of the attention of care from the training staff, it makes you wonder if maybe this is a longer-term injury for her.
You really don't want that for anybody.
And this is awful to see from Miriam Kone, one of the best players in the OUA, and has to be helped off, and her race is run, and this now falls onto the likes of Franco DeRike, McDonald, Pino, Dennis, And remember, they don't have Willick as well. So Willick is out, Garvey's out. Kone probably, by the body indication, is done for the day. TMU is really going deep into their options that they have, which is not many to be had right now.
Yeah, well, without Garvey, Kone, Willock, and Kate Nichols, you know, the younger player, the players on that rotation can really come in and contribute and make the most out of it. So that's all you can hope for.
This is what you call baptism by fire. Urban for the tie. Parity.
Yeah, you can always count on Urban to come through at the end of a game.
And with 2 minutes left, all eyes on Franco de Rijk and what she can do. A lot of pups are on the court with Franco de Rijk, who's only a third-year player herself. Back door, McDonald, head fake. Franco de Rijk again with it. 4 left in the shot clock. Going at the death of the shot clock. Rebound, right back over to Dang.
That's a great footwork by Haley Franco de Rijk. Just couldn't get it to fall, but again, really good opportunity there for the TMU team.
Poulin, watched by Gripe. 8 left in the shot clock for Carleton.
Oh, Miriam Kone is going back to the table all of a sudden.
Reload. They need her because that 3 goes in, courtesy of Matosis Adderley. 1:14 left, 6-point swing. Timeout called by TMU. Kone back in the game. And in 2 blinks of the eye, Carleton with Kone off the court punishes them for 6 points through 2 triples.
Yeah, it was like a 2-possession game, back-to-back threes from Urban and Matosis Adderley right there. Very clutch shooting from those 2.
Gutsy performance from Miriam Kone. Franco de Rijk. Kone. How agile is she? Rebound Urban. And we are less than a minute away from a winner, perhaps. And this could be the crucial possession for Carleton's hopes of punching their place as the 5th place finisher at the Nationals. Matosis Adderley. Urban. Back-to-back threes. Not that time. Rebound right to Kone. 40 seconds left in this game.
Kone with her 15th rebound in this game.
And Kone has definitely done her job today. Franco de Rijk. Nothing yet. 10 left in the shot clock. McDonald. They got to get a 3. Kone going. And that is going to be a foul called. That stops the clock, but coach, they wasted 20 plus seconds on that without getting a shot off, even though they're down by 3.
I mean, you got to give credit to the Carleton team here, really defending hard and being disciplined on that, not creating rotation. And yes, they did foul this last possession here, or this last shot, but ultimately, like you said, they did make TMU lost a lot of time on that clock.
And the first free throw confirmed. Again, you would imagine now TMU will foul right away, regardless of outcome here with them down by a score of 2.
Yeah, I believe Carleton might take a timeout. There you go.
So they'll advance the ball up ahead. And that means
or you keep it on the full court with 19 seconds, because if you do advance it, you only have 14
seconds left.
And then you allow TMU with 4 seconds. But TMU doesn't have any timeouts left.
So it really comes down to maybe the last shot wins. And if, as you see from Urban, who's had a wonderful game so far, and she's been, as you said, one of your key players, being a facilitator of points and a creator of points, as she created for Matosis Adderley on that 3.
Yeah, Matosis Adderley has been fearless in this tournament. She really, you know, coming through with a few different type of shots, different type of scoring. I mean, as a first year, you know, we talked about Ella McDonald being impactful on one end, but, you know, Matosis Adderley has been showing off this tournament, and you really gotta, you know, hang your hat and, you know, tip your hat, and congratulate this first year. And I'm pretty sure she's gonna have an illustrious career, or at least both of them.
Well, you would hope, but in your mind, not against U of T.
Never.
Never. So anyone else but U of T, and you're okay with that?
I mean, it goes without saying, Mo.
I'm just saying, you know, because when you throw rose petals at an opponent, people, the fans ask, wait a minute, are they wanting that player to do well against us? So you want to be clear about that.
You know, you know, I'm talking as an analyst today, right? Not as so much of as a coach.
Broadcast journalist. Is the
There you
proper
go.
term. All right, so they do advance it up ahead, so they're going to play the 14-second shot clock. Do you agree with this choice, Coach?
Yeah, knowing that TMU doesn't have a timeout left, it might be the best choice, yes.
And back with it, and they're going to have to foul now. It will be Kone. They killed off 4 seconds. Clock is starting to run short on TMU's season. High hopes coming in as the #1 seed. They got skunked by Laval on opening night, and now just trying to be a top 5 finisher on the 3rd day. And Franco DeReich will be called for the foul, and that will be bonus time for both teams.
And that would also be her 4th foul.
And now it is Matosis Adderley, who is a 54% free throw shooter. And makes it a bit more difficult for Carleton, knowing that they'll need at least a 2, maybe a 3-pointer to tie this game up.
These are her first free throws of the game, too.
Missed. Rebound, Urban losing it. Kone now. Could they tie it up with a 2 or take it with a 3? Kone. What's in her magic tricks? And that is short. Rebound, Carleton. And they will be your 5th place finishers as they take out the OUA champions in St. Foy, Quebec, and they win 60-58.
Ah, man, kudos to Carleton for making it happen and getting their revenge from that OUA final. Again, such a young group of players that came together and really grew. You saw it in the first game, and then into that second game and third game. They are growing game after game, and that's what the national tournament does to you. You know, you have to pivot, you have to adjust from one day to the other, and in this third game, they really showed out and really lead onto every single one of them to make this win happen.
Well, a fine win for Carleton. They'll have a building block for next year. You can sort of say they're 1-0 for next year. Or 2-0, because they lost opening day, they won the last 2. So
yeah, if you want to see it that way.
And you see the coaches talking right now, having a little chit-chat.
Yeah. I mean, they've had so many battles in the past, so... Right.
Well, Carleton now can say they're the national finishers at 5th place.
Yeah, they can say they're 5th.
They can say that for sure. But here we are, the player of the game coming up, brought to you by Nike. Carleton winners over TMU in overtime.
I'd like to draw your attention back to the court.
Oh yeah, you hate to see Garvey on, you know, with crutches.
It's tough.
To present the awards, please welcome pour présenter les prix. Veuillez accueillir.
You could just hope for her to have a speedy recovery and taking the time to rehab whatever is going on there.
La joueuse du match, Nike team, du côté de TMU, the Nike team player of the game for the Bold, le numéro 4, number 4, Myriam Kone.
Kone had a wonderful game, over 15 rebounds, 20-something points today.
Yeah, 25 points, 16 rebounds for Kone today.
The Nike team player of the game for the Ravens, le numéro 11, number 11, Kiana Jad Poulin.
And Poulin with another MVP effort like for as well.
Yeah, same for her, 19 points, 9 rebounds. It was a slow start for Kiana Jad Poulin, but she was able to, you know, continue working and finding her flow a bit better in the second half.
And there you have it. Happy Carleton team. They'll have a nice 5-hour bus ride back to the nation's capital as the 5th place finishers. And for TMU, a lot to consider and reconfigure for next year. High hopes, and unfortunately they crashed and burned in Laval on this Saturday afternoon. Stay tuned. We are now in the business end of the season. It is now semifinal 1 and 2. Up next, UNB Calgary from St. Foy, Quebec. You're watching the 2026 U Sports Women's Final 8, brought to you by Sun Life, presented by Michelob and Hilton Quebec on CBC. Stay tuned.
Sports on CBC, presented by Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Veriburn Medical Supply, Les Bagues Baron Rings, BioSteel, Hilton Quebec, Michelob Ultra, Wilson, APAR, and by Sun Life.